Yeah, so our group, we did the same paragraph from the rubric as with the other group. So shall I go back to
the first sentence of the paragraph says, discovery can encompass the experience of discovering something for the first time or rediscovering something that has been lost, forgotten or concealed. So in the early stages of the journey of Guevara and Alberto, they face a new obstacle which they haven't been exposed to before living as doctors in their homeland. And this allows them to understand the ways in which those who are living under the conditions of poverty living every day. This is seen in Che when he says that the taste of bread is now tinged with warning. I won't be so easy to come by soon, old man. So previously these two, as I said, were accustomed to a life of luxury and high quality living. This because they were doctors, and on this journey they lost pretty much everything, and they were forced to sort of like scavenge for food and to get by each day. And not only does this happen once, but they were forced to continuously scavenge for this food and to continue their discovery and their journey essentially. And so this also said in our feast was feast and sad. In 1 minute our stomachs felt full in acidity, and then the next the stabbing of a severe hunger resumed. This rediscovery of a lost world to them is able to bring about many impacts onto their daily lifestyle as they adapt to unfortunate circumstances of firstly losing their motorbike, and secondly not being able to present themselves well to sort of do jobs which they normally would not be accustomed to, which they have adapted to through this discovery. They also realise that those who are exposed to the public eye, in particular the government, who can't be forgotten, still maintain a concealed lifestyle as the pair observe the corruption that is in that government, by saying it is time that those who govern spent less time publicising their own virtues and more money, much more money, funding socially useful works. So this shows that they're worried about that the government's not taking care of its people, that's just worried about how they live and how they eat, how the government eats by themselves, and how they don't sort of provide for the people who voted them in and things like that.
Okay, so the second aspect of the paragraph is discoveries can be sudden and unexpected, or they can emerge from a process of deliberate and careful planning evoked by curiosity, necessity and wonder, and me and Billy will be covering that.
So we thought we'd look at some of the key terms in this phrase. So we looked at sudden and unexpected discoveries, and we realised these would be the unplanned discoveries. You know, they're not predictable, they're the ones that people just stumble upon. Deliberate and careful planning, so people obviously plan these ones out, they're predicted, they're expected to happen. Curiosity and wonder, so this is an internal desire to learn more about something, so when people are curious they want to know more about, you know, what could this be. And then necessity is a requirement, so this has to be discovered. And I thought this aspect of necessity is explored well in the quote. The communism gnawing at his entrails was no more than a natural longing for something better. So the personification in communism gnaws highlights the necessity for change as a result of the social ills in society and inequities. These ills fuel Guevara's sense of the need for change, and hence the necessity to discover the alternative governing structures such as communism. Such language and form shape the depiction of discovery in this text and force readers to perceive the discovery made in a way that instigates a response. Furthermore, the audience understands the nature of the discovery and how necessity lies at the core of such discoveries in the text. And therefore it is a requirement that social change happens, and Guevara takes on this challenge through his revolutionary activism.
So a lot of the discoveries made by Che in his travels were not planned. They were mainly sudden and unexpected, because all he knew that he was just going to be traveling through Latin America. So his journey was evoked by curiosity and wonder, as he says. He wanted to experience and see what Latin America had to offer him. So he had many sudden discoveries. One was when he met with an old communist couple. Che, being from a middle-class family in a good town, he was training to become a doctor. He had not previously been exposed to such poverty and extreme inequities. So he uses situational irony. The only thing that mattered was the enthusiasm in which the workers set to ruin their health. So Che, exposed to this extreme poverty, obviously shocked him, and his realization was that what Latin America had to offer him and the many experiences that he was able to gain from his country was not made available to other people, his fellow people, because of their ideologies. This was able to broaden and deepen his understanding of the world, because he was able to witness the inequities which were faced by his fellow people.
Yep, so discoveries can be fresh and intensely meaningful in ways that may be emotional, creative, intellectual, physical, and spiritual. At the beginning of the trip, Shay and Alberto had arrived at the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, in which Shay personifies the full moon that is smothering the waves with silver reflections. This was significant through his personal terms, as he provided his spiritual interpretation of the sea by describing it as a confidant, or a friend who discusses private matters. Guevara recognizes through his own perspective that the countless possibilities that may occur during his voyage, particularly as he indicates the sea that signifies infinite number of paths to all ends of the earth. Secondly, Shay physically discovers the poverty and filled various cities within his voyage. This can be considered the fuel for his radicalization. His strive to help others is derived from his character as a doctor, in which he ironically indicates that it is at times like this when a doctor is conscious of his complete powerlessness that he longs for a change, although doctors are symbolic of holding the power of knowledge. Guevara's recognition of his surroundings is constructed through an intellectual observation of what he is experiencing. This is made known to the audience as he indicates that I am not the man I once was, and his intellectual pursuit for power is evident through the fact that he had graduated from medical school. It exemplifies the significance of his discovery and the acquisition of qualities that allow him to help one another. Furthermore, the cultural aspect of Guevara's journey across Latin America has presented him with the possibility to draw a comparison of cities that dealt in riches and wonders, and conversely, areas that are overrun with poverty. One place to another, his perception had accumulated to such an extent that he had stated by an almost fatalistic conformity with the facts that my destiny is to travel, which characterizes radicalization by disregarding what society had initially told him, which was right by virtue. Guevara's emotional aspect is enhanced by being thankful to strangers who have helped him in Alberto across Latin America. In addition, by traveling with Alberto, Guevara was able to recognize the emotional aspect of Alberto himself, observing at his excitement as he looks at the endless Atlantic Ocean for the first time. Guevara also experiences honor by volunteering to be a fire brigade, indicating that captaining a brigade is a sought-after honor for the most able men in the towns or districts where they operate. So every aspect of the statement, which I said at the beginning, is reflected within Guevara's journey across South America, in which through these discoveries you're able to see his transition from Ernesto to Shay.
They can also be confronting and provocative. They can lead us to new worlds and values, stimulate new ideas, and enable us to speculate about future possibilities. Discoveries and discovering can offer new understandings and renewed perceptions of ourselves and others. Shay claimed, whichever way he looked, a higher peak was in the way. This hyperbole emphasizes the blissfulness of serendipity, discovering beyond what was expected. A serendipitous discovery is both confronting and provocative. In the later vignettes of the Motorcycle Diaries, Shay encounters a poverty-stricken victim of leprosy who claims, "Life is pain, you have to fight for every breath and tell death to go away." This gives reasons for Shay's confronting, emancipating revolutionary actions that follow the text, defining his perceptions of life. Shay initially accepts a warped sense of reality, governed by social norms. However, he later recognizes the stone blocks that stand enigmatically impervious to the ravages of time, allegorically implying the presence of a mental barrier that conceals the underlying element of reality, poverty. This transformative recognition expresses Shay's belief that power and riches shade the eyes of people from the existence of poverty, ultimately highlighting the provocative thoughts of this figure. Thank you.